The biggest change for our active contributing membership will be in respect to the drop program. And how that is going to be determined is as follows. For an active contributing member right now who is hired before January 1st of 2012, if they show 20 years of credited service on or before January 1st of 2012, those members do not see a change to their drop program. Everything maintains as it currently is. So if you have a member who has over 20 years of service right now, please advise them nothing's changing for them. It's calculated in the same fashion, and the credit into their drop account is the same as it currently is, which is based upon the assumed earnings rate that is determined each fiscal year by our Board of Trustees. So nothing changes for them in terms of their drop program. For those individuals who are actively contributing members currently, and in addition to that, show less than 20 years of credited service on and after January 1st of 2012, they still will be eligible to participate in the drop program. However, there will be changes to how their drop account is credited with interest. And how that is going to be determined is as follows. Interest in their drop account is going to be equal to the average annual return used to calculate the actuarial value of assets. And what that means is currently right now we go through a smoothing review actuarially when we look at the average annual return. And I believe it is a 7-year smoothing currently right now that we use when determining our annual return, our average annual return. Right now, I think currently, if we look at how the returns look currently right now, I think the average annual return is about 4.5% right now. In addition to that, the minimum interest that would be credited to a drop participant who participates on and after January 1st of 2012 and who shows less than 20 years of credited service on and after January 1st, 2012, the minimum percentage will be 2%. In addition to how their interest is earned in their drop account, these individuals will also be required to contribute during their drop participation. So for those members who are currently in drop, contributions stop for the member as well as the employer. But for these individuals who have the less than 20 years of credited service on and after January 1st of 2012, they will be required to contribute while participating in drop. And the contribution that they contribute is as all other active contributing membership, whatever the contribution rate is for that particular year. So for this upcoming fiscal year, it will be at 8.65%. Also changes within 1609 for our existing membership has to deal with the definition of member for public safety. Retroactive to January 1st of 2012, the definition of member in public safety will also include police and fire chiefs. So now, starting on the general effective date of July 20th of 2011, but retroactive to January 1st of 2009, members will now include our police and fire chiefs. So as you can see, for our existing membership, the real major change for them has to deal with their contribution rates as well as how drop is available for them. It's still available to them, however, based upon their credited service on and after January 1st, 2012, determines how the drop accounts are being credited and whether or not they are required to contribute into the plan. So we'll go ahead and move forward and now talk specifically about what happens to those new hires that you bring on board into public safety retirement on and after January 1st of 2012. Here is where the major changes will happen for those individuals. We, again, will create basically a new tier of benefits for those individuals. When it comes to contribution rates, nothing changes for them. They still will have to contribute at the same rates that our active contributing membership have to oblige by. In addition to that, the alternate contribution rate also comes into play for them. When it comes to service purchases, again, same issue with all three of our, or all of our other plans, and whether you're active currently or whether or not you're hired after January 1st of 2012. You must show 10 years of credited service in order to even apply for service purchases with the maximums. Refunds for them also changes as it did for our Corp and EORP new hires after January 1st of 2012, where if they terminate and they put in an application for a refund, they will just receive their contributions in addition to any interest determined by the Board of Trustees. The major change for them has to deal with their benefit calculations, as you probably noticed with the other two plans. Their normal retirement now changes from the 20-year to 25 years of service and age 52 and a half. So not only do they have to show the years of service to be eligible for normal retirement, they also have to show the age requirement. So that brings up a couple things for both of our plans, for both public safety and Corp, which I'm sure is probably going to be a question here, so I'll try to answer it now. In that, if you have a member who has the years of service on the books and they terminate their employment with you all, will they be eligible to apply for their normal retirement once they reach their age requirement? And the answer to that is yes. So for those new hires who are hired after January 1st of 2012, if they show the necessary service to potentially be eligible for normal retirement, but they don't yet reach the age meet the age requirement, they can come back to you as the local board once they meet that age requirement to apply for their normal retirement benefit. Their pension is also calculated as it is for the other two plans for new hires, in that it's the high 5 for them. Their pension calculation amount is 62.5% for the member who has the 25 years, the minimum 25 years. If they have 25 or more years of credited service at time of retirement, then their pension will be increased by the 2.5% for each year and fractional year over 25. And again, just as it is now, maximum benefit is 80% of their average monthly benefit compensation. The benefit will be decreased for those individuals who have each year and fractional year under 25 will be reduced by 4% for each year and fractional year under 25 years of credited service. And what that means, like we've always stated before, there's two definitions in our plans. You have your service and you have your credited service. Service is the running clock from the point that they become a member into our plan to the point that they terminate in our plan. Credited service is the amount of time that is supported by contributions that we receive in the system. So in this particular case, you have a member who has 25 years of service. They are eligible for retirement. They have the age requirement. But once you conduct your calculation, you determine that there's 2 months worth of leave without pay, and there's been no contribution submitted to our system, then that would reduce their credited service to under 25 years. And as such, they will then receive their reduction of 4% for each year and fractional year under that 25 years of credited service. The big change also for our new hires after January 1st of 2012 is that there is no drop program for them. So for any new hire after January 1st of 2012, drop is no longer available to them. Moving on. Permanent benefit increases kind of runs in the same fashion as it did for the other two plans, in that we have to show the 10.5% return in the prior fiscal year, and then based upon the funding status, the percentage that is determined on the average normal benefit in public safety is either 2.5%, up to the 4% maximum, based upon the funding ratio for the PSPRS plan. And as I mentioned before, if there is not enough funds to fully fund the maximum under the funding ratio issue, then we'll only pay out what is truly available over the 10.5%. For those new hires after January 1st of 2012 and their survivors, in order for them to be eligible for the benefit increase, they again must be 55 years of age or older on July 1st and be currently receiving a benefit in order to be eligible. If they're under the age of 55, then the only way that they would become eligible is if they are receiving an accidental or catastrophic disability benefit and have been receiving that benefit for the 2 prior July 1 years. In addition to that, if the survivor is under the age of 55 on July 1, in order for them to be eligible, they have to be a KIA survivor, and again, they have to have shown 2 previous July 1 payments in order to become eligible for a benefit increase. So I know I've thrown a lot of information out there for you, and I'm sure I'm going to start looking at the questions that are being submitted online. I'm sure there's many of them, and that is where we'll now go ahead and transition to our little Q&A here. How this is going to work is, again, I'm going to moderate this. We may not be able to address every question here, but we will certainly make every concerted effort to do so. So let me go ahead and pull up this information and start seeing what we have coming through. While I'm pulling up this information, is there any questions from our in-house participants that maybe we can begin addressing right now? No questions? Okay. Wow, then I must have done an awesome job explaining this stuff. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Our first question here is regarding Senate Bill 1317. Will retirees who are currently reemployed and participating in an employer's active employee coverage who is receiving the subsidy now continue to receive that subsidy? And I will defer that question over to Stacy. Stacy.
The answer to that question is yes. Those who are currently receiving it will be grandfathered in, and they will continue to receive the subsidy until they either retire or move to another active position. Once they do that, then if they retire, they'll receive the subsidy under the retired coverage, and if they move to another active position, that subsidy stops. It will not continue.
Okay. So as long as the member is currently in that program, they're grandfathered in, and they will do so until they move into another position, and once that happens, it stops. Yes. Or if they retire, then it stops there as well. Alrighty. Next question, I think, is just more administratively. Will we be offering a copy of the PowerPoint presentation afterwards? Yes, like I mentioned before, all previous webinars, including this one, will be archived on our website, and we will also be providing a copy of just the PowerPoint for any downloading or printing purposes. Traditionally, we try to have that out within a couple days after our presentation is over. I would ask that if you are looking for that information on our website, that you at least wait until next week, early next week, to find that information. Yeah. And with respect to the PowerPoints on 1609, we already have the summaries up there. Like I said, I pulled that information from what's currently on our website, but if you're looking for the full PowerPoint of today's presentation, we should have that up within the next couple days on our website. Next question.